It was a warm summer evening, and Freshmart, one of the busiest supermarkets in the city, was buzzing with activity. Shoppers pushed their carts through the aisles, filling them with groceries. At the entrance, Mark stood quietly. A young black man in a loose sweatshirt. He held a small shopping list in his hand and waited patiently in line. Just then, a middle-aged man named James walked in. His demeanor radiated self-importance, and without hesitation, he strode straight to the front of the line. People noticed, but no one said anything. A silent discomfort spread through the crowd. Mark took a deep breath, trying to give James the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he doesn't realize there's a line, he thought. But when James started speaking to the cashier as if no one else existed, Mark couldn't hold back. "Excuse me," Mark said in a calm but firm voice. "There's a line here. Please wait your turn." James turned around, flashing a smug smile as if amused. "Is it really that important?" "I'm just buying a few things," he replied before turning back to the cashier. Frustrated, Mark addressed the cashier, whose name tag read Liz. "This isn't right. We've all been waiting here. Why are you letting him skip?" Liz hesitated, glancing at James and then back at Mark. Her expression turned dismissive. "It's not a big deal," she muttered with a shrug, ringing up James's items. Mark's patience wore thin. "It's not just about skipping a line," he said, his voice growing louder. "It's about respecting everyone else here." James, now visibly annoyed, turned to face Mark fully. "Look, kid," he sneered, "just wait your turn and stop making a scene." The air in the store grew tense. All eyes were on Mark and James, but no one dared to intervene. A security guard named David, noticing the commotion, approached. His eyes scanned the scene, landing on Mark. "Is there a problem here?" David asked in a tone that felt more accusatory than neutral. Mark, still holding his ground, explained the situation. But David's focus seemed to shift immediately toward siding with James. All right, David said curtly. "Everyone just calm down and stay in line." Mark couldn't believe what he was hearing. "I am in line," he said firmly. "He's the one breaking the rules, and I'm the one being ignored." David's expression hardened. "I'm warning you, if you keep causing trouble, I'll have to ask you to leave." Before Mark could respond, a woman from the crowd spoke up. Her name was Emily, and she couldn't stand the injustice any longer. "This isn't right," she said loudly. "Mark is absolutely right, and we all saw what happened. James should go to the back of the line." Emily's boldness seemed to spark something in the other customers. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd, and some even nodded in support of Mark. James looked uncomfortable for the first time. "This is ridiculous," he muttered, trying to downplay the situation. But Emily wasn't backing down. She pointed to a security camera above the counter. "If you think you've done nothing wrong, let's check the footage," she said. Her words made both James and David freeze. Liz glanced nervously at the camera, then at David. "We should review the footage," she said reluctantly. In the security room, the camera recordings played back everything. Mark patiently waiting in line, James boldly walking to the front, and the dismissive way both James and Liz had treated him. The footage also showed David's biased approach toward Mark when the confrontation started. Back in the store, David looked embarrassed. James, on the other hand, turned red with shame as the undeniable evidence sealed his guilt. David cleared his throat and turned to Mark. "I apologize for the misunderstanding," he said awkwardly. Mark wasn't satisfied with a simple apology. "This isn't just about me," he said firmly. "People need to know that they have a right to speak up when something is wrong." James was forced to apologize to the customers and to Mark for his behavior. Liz received a stern warning from the store manager about treating customers fairly, while David left the scene in silence, his authority visibly shaken. As Mark left the store, several customers clapped quietly, showing their support. Emily walked up to him and shook his hand. "What you did today reminded all of us that we shouldn't stay silent," she said warmly. Mark smiled. "We all have to stand up for what's right," he said before heading out, his head held high. This wasn't just a story about a lion in a supermarket. It was a moment where one person's courage sparked a lesson in fairness and justice for everyone. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. Have a great day.